So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here with all of you every Saturday morning, most of the weeks of the year. And I partner with Dana Hunter and Gary Knapp, and we really enjoy being with our community and bringing world-renowned speakers and up-and-coming leaders and brand new starting people who just want to put their hand up and give a go to participate and be part of this great technology and this great company. So today we're very privileged to have Avalon Dennis, and just giving a little bit of Avalon's background. I know many of you have seen her of late quite a few times, and we're very privileged to have her here this Saturday. Avalon, after enjoying the benefits of Medtech's wellness technology, Avalon starting building a business over the past year. Recently achieving the silver executive level, Avalon has become the go-to lady in Queensland for the amazing Luminovation skincare range. After having a bit of a wild youth living abroad, Avalon returned to Australia in 2018. This was a change of lifestyle, was accompanied with a few difficult years of self-discovery, which led her to the path that she has now chosen. For the past year, Avalon is focused on personal development, honing her public speaking and leadership skills, and she's currently working to become an ICF accredited quantum coach. Explained in Avalon's own words, 2024 is the year that I finally become a true adult and realized what my purpose for time here is on Earth. So join us to learn more. Today, we're talking about the perfect business for millennials, about Avalon's journey. I know, I'm thinking, obviously, I'm an older woman now. I'll say, we say that very politely. And my children, I have one graduating year 12, and I'm thinking about, when you have setbacks, on reflection from a long distance, looking back, now it's a very long distance, looking back to his age, all those tough times in life were the biggest times of growth on looking back, right? And that's what I heard in what you said, Avalon. So welcome, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for putting your hand up and being willing to give it a go to be here today on a Saturday call.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So, Avalon, how let's start with you and your background and how you came introduced to Manatech to begin with.
Well, the surname gives you a bit of a clue. Karen Dennis is my mum, and she got involved in Manatech when I think I was 19. So I pretty much was begged to take the products because mum knew I was a bit of a mess at the time and leading a very unhealthy lifestyle, being young and a bit wild. So I reluctantly took the products that mum begged me to take, and I had some amazing results. I did have some health issues at the time, which were mostly corrected quite quickly, or I don't have those symptoms at all anymore. So I had really good results, but being a young person, I didn't. I was sort of very focused on myself in that time, and went to the UK and had a great time over there. I always took the products, but I didn't really feel authentic in sharing them at that time because I was not really leading a healthy lifestyle in other areas of my life. Still taking the products, but being a bit wild at the same time. So, yeah, I think coming back to Australia, I came back in 2018. I was in the UK for about nearly 10 years. And when I got back to Australia, I had a major, major crash and just a bit of a reassessment of my life and maybe a mini midlife crisis at 38. So yeah, I had a bit of an awful patch, to be honest. About 18 months, and again, mum was my number one fan and solid place of support, and encouraged me to take more products, change my diet, and just start making some different choices and changing the way that I was speaking to myself too, which has had a huge, huge impact. So that's pretty much gotten me to where I am now. But really, I think last year I decided with my partner to do a self-development course in September, and that's really been a major, major turning point for me. And that sort of started me off. And from that self-development course, I decided to do the ongoing 4-month self-development course from that same company, which started in February this year. And so I decided to give up alcohol in January, which was another big step in the right direction. I haven't completely given up. I have to be honest and authentic. I do still have an occasional drink, but I mostly, compared to what I was doing pretty much it's 90%, 95% reduction. So, yeah, February, I started doing my self-development course, and it's just been a process since then. I learnt a lot about myself, dealt with some stuff that I've probably been carrying around for a long time, and public speaking is one of those things. Massive fear of public speaking, which, as you can see, I'm in the process of overcoming. So just taking opportunities to learn and grow, and that's been really helpful with my business as well. Once you remove all the distractions and the things that are holding you back, you can focus on what's really important to you, which I think is what I'm doing and why I've achieved some success this year with my business after making it my focus and people my focus. Yeah.
Awesome. And what kind of well-being changes did you notice when finally I know we receive, myself included, education at different levels. You get it at one level and then you go sometimes to a deeper level and thought, why didn't I think of that? You know,
Mm.
what behavior changed in you to be able to, I guess there was a wake-up call with a health challenge,
Hmm.
and then how the difference between taking it just as well, you've got a new commitment to taking the Manitech supplements. How did that change for you? And what did it change?
Well, yeah, I mean, removing some toxins from my life and increasing the amount of products that I was taking myself. But mainly my focus has really shifted towards being of service to others. I think I spent a lot of my life making myself happy and focusing on myself, and, it didn't make me happy.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, you know, caring about other people and trying to help other people is actually far more rewarding than
Mm,
just focusing on yourself. You create connections with people. You get such an incredible reward from seeing people have great results on the products, which is, just gives me a massive buzz. So, and I think when you sort of get into focus, since I've been focusing this year, and you get into a bit of momentum as well, and the energy just keeps driving and pushing you on to the next step. And I'm also doing a coaching course, which you mentioned in my bio, but it's just about getting into a state and using tools and things that I've learnt to, get me into the right head state to serve people basically, because
mm,
that's sort of what I've realized my life calling is. So
mm.
yeah.
It's really hard to put into words what a blessing Manitech is. You partner with a
Mm,
company that has a technology,
yeah,
and really you can't benefit without benefiting somebody else. So it
that's
is an
right.
absolute life of service. Exactly. Avalon.
That's right. And seeing people get excited, when Mum does some Zoom calls with our team, and seeing people getting excited and having great results, and then sharing it with other people too, you just start to realize the impact that you can have on the world, because it can just start with one person and you can just spread out. I mean, look at Mum, her business is huge. She's helped so many people, which is very inspiring to me too. And there's a lot of people who, value and respect her so much because of what she's done, and it's not that that's what I'm looking for, to be honest, but just knowing that you're helping people and people's lives are better because you spoke to them and shared the products. That's, what could you do that's better than that?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Hmm.
being part of wide community of people who are, by far the majority are just really good people. And
Yeah,
then you see the benefits that they're impacting on the
that's
people
right.
around them that they bring along.
That's right. And you're in a room of people of like mind as well, which is incredibly powerful. People who have got good intentions, people who are healthy, and you learn other things about health as well along the way. So it's a journey, and Mum's always said that building a Manitech business is a personal development course disguised as a business, which I really love that because you know, we go into employment jobs and work, and you have to do a lot of training and a lot of development to learn a role in a job. And a business is really no different. You sort of have to learn skills, learn ways to talk to people, learn how to develop others, and learn how to develop yourself, and hold space for people and be authentic, and just really focus on what's important. So, yeah, it is definitely a bus personal development course disguised as a business. So it's incredible, and it's a growth, an awesome way to grow, be successful, and help others all in one package.
I had to laugh when I was reaching out. We were having a discussion about what we wanted to focus on here, and I'm going, "Well, what letter are you? Are you a Gen Y, X, whatever?"
I didn't even know. I had to look it up.
Yeah, and so you come up with you're in the millennials. So why for the Gen, any of the letter generations or the millennials? Why do you think is the attraction for them? Why do you see it's a niche for young people in business?
Well, I mean, it's a niche. The whole personal development factor is, I think, a huge draw card because unfortunately, our youth and anyone who went to Thailand, anyone who's listened to your recent call with Dr. Nugent when he did the complex bundle, showing that, just in the last 20 years, we had a further 175,000 synthetic chemicals introduced to the earth, so it's now we're up to a total of 350,000 since 1930. But the last 20 years, we've just been absolutely bombarded. And I actually am very concerned for the younger generation because they're growing up with a huge load of toxins that we still had, but nowhere near as much. So the need for the products with the younger generations is incredibly important. But the exciting thing for younger people, and I can speak from this myself, when I was 19 and I started, you haven't had a lifetime of building up heaps and heaps of rubbish in your body, sludge as I call it. So I feel like they get results more quickly. We've got the Luminovation now, which I think is very appealing to the younger generation. It's definitely appealing to me. It's fun, it's pretty, and you can, have really nice girl or, boys as well. Boys can use it as well, but it's a great way of getting the younger people in with something that's, I guess, younger people sometimes are a bit more inclined to think about what looks good rather than their health. But it's a good step in the door with younger people, the Luminovation, I think. But the health is massively important, and I think, the way things are at the moment, I think younger people are growing up, and I don't want to sound awful when I say this, but it's becoming a bit of a weaker society because we're not as resilient. We haven't had
Mm.
the challenges growing up that maybe our previous generations did. So people aren't growing up as resilient and mentally strong, which is pretty evident in the mental health around the world, which is a huge, huge issue, and in younger people, which almost makes me emotional. Um, yeah, mental health is just massive for younger people. So being able to see people, just the plus and the omega and the impact that can have on a person's mental health and well-being is massive. And, I think sharing that with young people and them understanding that. I've just recently had a 20-year-old girl start on the products and she's having wonderful results, which is incredible. Excuse me. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
think the need is massive, and my challenge at the moment is finding a way to communicate on a level with young people so that they understand how important it is. And I think really my next biggest challenge is to communicate through social media, which is something that I need to develop that skill more because that is how they talk to each other. So I think that's something that needs to be mastered if you're wanting to market to younger people, or
Mm.
definitely a skill that you need to think about because that's how they communicate. It's very widely used, and I think if we can master that skill, we can find a way to get through to those younger generations.
And there's so many pathways of entry to Mantic. I know you didn't come straight to the business. You started,
Mm.
your mom probably forced some product down your throat, probably at some point.
Yes, that's an understatement.
That's what I like to. I'm known to do that with my kids.
Mm.
Um, so it was a gradual, lengthy time actually before you chose the
Yes.
business. What was that journey like for you, Avalon?
I mean, it's my whole youth basically. I've always taken the products. I think there's probably very few times in that period from 19 to return, well, till now, basically, where I haven't taken any products. I don't remember a period where I haven't taken anything. There might have been a time when I took a lot less due to affordability in the UK when I was in and out of jobs and living a little bit precariously. But I've always taken the products because I think once you see the benefit and you feel it for yourself and you experience it, you realize, how important they are. And well, why would you stop? It's food, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but I guess the whole, yeah, just the business side of things has really kind of only come into play for me personally. I don't feel like, well, I never felt like I could share it authentically unless I was being authentic myself. So now that all those roadblocks are out of the way, here I am doing the business.
Full speed ahead.
That's right.
And I know it's a new journey for you, but what have your been 2 or 3 maybe of your main takeaways that you've learned that supported, your business growth to date?
100% personal development, investing in yourself physically. I mean, we're all investing in ourselves with the products already, but I do believe a very important part is investing in your mental state as well and learning how to deal with your emotions, overcome, it is every day I have a mental battle thinking I can't do this or this is hard or all these little thoughts constantly pop into my head and you have to build up that resilience and the only way to do that is to learn some really good mental strength techniques and have a daily practice that I do every day and stay in a peak state, stay focused, and tell yourself the things that you need to tell yourself to stay on course, stay focused, and help others. And remember why I'm doing this and where my heart is and why it's important to me. So, also educating myself on the products, which is constant, listening to Dr. Nugent, um, educating yourself, training yourself on what you're doing, why you're doing it, because that gives you energy too. Listen. I think I listened to Dr. Nugent's Why I Joined Manitech before I went to Thailand, and I listened to it again in the afternoon. I was like, oh my gosh, just lit the fire in my belly because it was just such. If you haven't listened to that, it's on YouTube. It's incredible. But that was just so listening and educating myself definitely is a huge factor. And just getting around the right environments, staying around the right people, people who can lift you up, people in the business who are all on the same journey and supporting each other and having that sense of community as well and supporting each other. So those three things very important.
And pro tip here for everybody listening, the phone doesn't get any lighter when you're old. That's just those daily habits are really important for us as well.
Mm.
Um, what about incentives? How have they impacted your ability to lift yourself in business?
Okay, well, I went for it with the Thailand incentive and very pleased to say that I achieved the full incentive, which was really cool. That's actually the first incentive I've ever earned for myself. I have been lucky enough to go with mum on some other incentives and other rewards, the benefit of being a presidential's daughter. But yeah, the Thailand incentive really spurred me on because I just really wanted to go to Thailand and yeah, I think the Loom Innovation doing the demo in June, the first Lumi events that we did, that got me excited and gave me a lot of confidence. And so I think talking to people and knowing that there's an incentive, it just really gives you the motivation. And to be honest, without that incentive, I don't think I would have worked as hard because I
Yeah.
knew you sort of set yourself a goal, don't you? You know exactly what you need to do to get there. And as Sinead always says, the incentives are there. It's a reward, but also you're going to grow your business in the process, and that's the whole idea. So you're sort of really going for that short goal. We're in a long running goal, all of us. It's a long process, the business, and long running goal forever, hopefully for everyone. But the short incentives really sort of almost give you a little kickstart to the next level, kickstart. So going for the incentives is highly recommended. And, as Mum said to me at the start of the Thailand incentive, right, let's get your tracker out, work out what you need to do, and almost put a plan into the tracker before you've even done it, because you're setting that goal. You're writing down what's your objective, creating your intention, and then Mum said she's used this in many other times, and it almost creates energy. And maybe not everything that you put into your tracker or the plans maybe they don't all work, but
Yeah.
other things will. You're sort of setting that intention and creating that goal. And when you know exactly what you need to do to get to the incentive, then you sort of have a real clear target and stay very focused. So yeah.
And it's kind of like a magnet to the universe, that kind of intention, and
That's
really
right.
perfect, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So you set a goal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And are there, outside of incentives, what else helps you creating consistency in your business and activity and growth?
Daily habits, daily practice. I've got a sheet actually, daily habits and weekly devotions in all areas of my life.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it is really cool. So, and it's only a small thing. It can be one thing, personal health, a mind and emotional state, relationships, finances, business, career and vocation, spiritual development, and time and presence. And I have a goal in each of those areas for every day. Something simple that you can do every day. I have it on the fridge, so I see it every day. And now I can't remember what the question was. I got
Oh,
sidetracked.
just any other recommendations that outside of incentives that
Oh,
help you
yes.
with consistent growth?
Sure. Yeah. So I started listening to something Manitech related or some sort of coaching every day on my way to work. When I go into the office, I do still work full time as well, which is when I listen to Steve Nugent. So listening to something, having some sort of Manitech related interaction every day and every week, is consistency. And I think stopping and starting and stopping, you've got to get that energy back up again. Whereas if you just do something consistently every day, even if it's something small, then you can just keep the momentum going, keep the wheels going, and then take big action, set yourself a goal every week. Who am I going to call? I made a commitment to start reaching out to a different girlfriend every week, because I've sort of let some relationships slip. So just starting to get back in touch with girlfriends, not necessarily to talk to them about the business, but just to build up connections again, relationships, thinking about where can I go, what sort of rooms do I need to be in to meet new people that will be good prospects. And, it's not all about thinking about prospects, but where do I want to mix and what areas do I need to go to meet people who I'm going to be able to share this with and who are going to understand and be able to go and share it as well. So there is some strategic planning in those things. And yeah, I think definitely just focus, daily habits, weekly habits, and staying consistent. Definitely.
So you've mentioned quite a few, Avalon, but one of the biggest, whether you're running a marathon or whether you have a shorter term goal, mindset often gets in the way. What
Absolutely.
have you experienced that ever?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just being
Absolutely.
human, isn't it? Isn't it? Because
That's
you got,
right.
and you've mentioned it earlier that, to get on top of it, and sometimes it's just becoming aware that you might be
Mm,
having negative thoughts. That's
that's right.
the first step, is realize, hey, I don't need to talk to myself like that. But in
Absolutely.
regards to the business, what kind of things have you found, and then maybe set yourself a plan to overcome where you catch yourself going off track a bit from the mindset or positivity perspective?
Oh, yes. Just as you said, being aware of your thoughts and catching yourself. And, I just know I'm very blessed to have some tools and techniques that I've learned through my personal development to keep me on track. So, changing your state. If you start getting into a negative spiral, change your state, go for a walk, do some star jumps, physical movement. You've got to get out of that state as quickly as possible, because the
Shake it
further
off.
down you go, that's right, shake it off, go out and yell, do what you need to, go and swim in the ocean. Just have something in your bucket that will make you change your state that you can, and, you know, just distract yourself if you need to, and then change your state, and then just know it's just thoughts, it's just fear. And you can almost thank the fear too, because your fear is trying to
Yeah.
protect you from being hurt or from doing something that scares you. We're always in survival mode. So fear is your friend. It's just trying to help you. So
Yeah.
don't be angry at your fear. Just go,
Yeah.
well, thank you, fear, but I'm going to do this instead because this is my path. So, yeah.
You've just inspired Sinead to do star jumps. That I think looking at the emoji, it brought up that friend fear. It's just a fear. It's just a friend, Sinead.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
funny. And and I'm sure the same as everybody, even though you're a young person, you might be talking to a young person and they just don't get it. Do you get quite a varied response so far, or what's your approach and how do you feel about getting yeses and nos or
Mm.
everything
When
in
you
between?
say young people, I assume you're talking about my generation. I don't spend a lot of time with anyone younger than me because of my work, but yeah, I don't think I get fear. I think people are very receptive to it, to be honest. And I'm excited about it. That's the main thing. So when you're excited and you're sharing something that you're excited about, people can see your
Yeah.
passion and they can see your energy and they pick up on that. It's transmutive. It will go on to them and they get excited too. But then the biggest thing for me is to make sure that you follow that person up, look after your customers, look after your associates, especially new ones, because they are excited at the start. And you need to really maximize that time when people are excited, and get them raring to go and keep the energy high.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also have the strategies for when there's hiccups, right? Because
That's right. That's right.
nothing worthwhile really goes without having some challenges to overcome.
That's right. And if you're going to be a leader, you've got to overcome those challenges yourself, because then when people have the same challenges, you can help them. You can help coach it through them and develop them and help them overcome it, because again, it's a personal development course designed as a business. You've got to keep on leveling up and thinking on a different level in order to get to the next level. It's like life, really. This business is like life. Every challenge is a step and a growth, and you just got to keep leveling up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is so true.
Mm,
That is so true. And it's kind of hard to explain to people in my experience over the years, that this, like exactly what you're saying, it's a business where you make money and yet you're helping people. Sort of like the whole
mhm,
package. Whereas, I've witnessed a lot of people start a mainstream business. There's no team there to support them. There's nobody
mm,
lifting them up. There's only competition. There's
mm.
nobody linking arms with them. There's nobody in the same boat willing to say, hey, this is what worked for me or help them out. So what would you say to people, who actually are looking for a business? Why would you choose this one?
Well, if you join with me, you will be supported, constantly looking at new ways to improve, training and support, uh, coaching as well. Do have that under my belt as well now, where I will be qualified in December, which is very exciting. And the main reason that I did that coaching was to be able to support people in my business. That was
Yeah.
my motivation for doing that, so I could help develop people that come into my business. So yeah, I think that's really, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So, what's in your heart to leave people with today? And people out there that might be listening to this, or might have a young person who, maybe is a bit on a pause in their life and are looking for something new.
Mm.
What's in your heart about partnering with Manatech as a business?
Well, just the joy that it's brought me so far. I've gone from a period of feeling very, very lost, very alone, and almost having, a bit of a breakdown, to be honest. And I think living a life in the service of other people and wanting to help other people, the joy and the reward that you get from that is incredible, and it actually lifts you at the same time. So I think if there's a lot of young people out there at the moment who are very lost and unhappy, and I think this could be a light for them, come into a community of health, wealth, and personal development, learning how to be resilient, learning how to, tackle some tough times and learn some mental strength. The benefits of doing this business, are just incredible. There's so many benefits, and I can't think of any negatives. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for a long time, 26
Mm,
years now, Avalon, and I can't agree more.
yeah.
Manatech is worth it.
Mhm.
Everybody needs the technology anyway,
Absolutely.
and
Mm,
to make this your livelihood is a sort of a gift made in heaven. So
that's right.
thank you for being here and sharing you today. It's been
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
And